On this episode of Time About the Movies, I was wondering why I put the shirt on today, because we have a new Disney movie coming out, and not only a Disney movie, a new Disney animated classic, Tangled, with Mandy Moore as Rapunzel and Zachary Levi as Flynn Rider, aka Eugene, aka whoever is... I had something there, but I completely lost my train of thought. But that's the big new release. But we also have other movies coming out on this Thanksgiving weekend, including Sharon Christina Aguilera, the latter making her feature film leading debut in Burlesque. We also have Jake Gyllenhaal and Anne Hathaway in Edward Zwick's Love and Other Drugs. We have Dwayne Johnson starring in the action thriller Faster. We have what is probably going to be the one review that you're going to hate me for, because I really do not like the Best Picture winner of this year, and we have finally reached that point to talk about why I hate The King's Speech. And we ran the show with a doozy, The Nutcracker, The Untold Story, which is, it's a story that probably, after you see what I'm going to talk about here, it's a story that definitely deserves to not be told ever again. But it's the last weekend of November 2010, Thanksgiving weekend, so grab your turkey leftovers if you're watching this around that time for Time About the Movies for November 26, 2010.
All right, listen, I didn't want to have to do this, but you leave me no choice. Here comes the smolder. You coming, Blondie? Let down your...
Yeah, that trailer, as nice as the animation looks, the way that that's edited together with the "I'm Trouble Now" song, and it just looks like a movie that just seems like it's dead on arrival. But trust me when I tell you, the trailer is the one thing that will make you hate the movie. When you see the movie, you realize, oh wait, this is actually much better than this trailer is letting on. But welcome to Time About the Movies, and as I said, we're taking a look at the 6 films released on Thanksgiving weekend 2010, and of course the biggest new release of the weekend is Tangled, Disney's 50th animated feature film, and it was marketed as the 50th animated feature film. In fact, when you see the opening of the movie, it opens with the Walt Disney Animation Studios highlighting it as the 50th animated feature film. So, of course, this is based off the story of Rapunzel from the Brothers Grimm, and it features the voices of Mandy Moore and Zachary Levi. It tells the story of a thief, Flynn Rider, who stumbles across a castle in the middle of the forest while trying to hide from the kingdom's men, and finds an 18-year-old girl named Rapunzel, voiced by Mandy Moore, who had been locked in the tower ever since she was a baby. She's convinced Flynn to take her out to find out where these lights that always appear on her birthday come from. And of course, she figures out that she actually was stolen from a mother. The mother in here, Mother. I have to look. Mother Gothel. I knew it had to start with a G, but she's voiced by Donna Murphy, and she's been growing up thinking that she's her mother, when in actuality she's the one that actually stole her from a real family, this royal family. And that throughout the adventure, they come across these two. Mandy Moore's Rapunzel character. Toy boat. Rapunzel basically forces Flynn to take her to the village there to see where these lights are coming from, and then she figures out that she's actually been part of a royal family her whole life. And this is where Disney's kind of starting to have that turnaround here. I mean, they've always made great movies. A couple of exceptions have been stuff we've talked about in the past. Bad stuff like Home on the Range, Chicken Little, even stuff like Meet the Robinsons and Brother Bear weren't that great. But since John Lasseter, when he took over the studio, they got better and better as they went along. Bolt was great. Princess and the Frog was great. This one, I think, is the lesser of the first 3 films that he's done. But that's not saying that the movie is bad or anything in any way, shape, or form. It's that after what I really like about Bolt and the Princess and the Frog a lot, I really was expecting them to take this to the next level. This should have been their, you know, if you want to, it's like, when this was coming out, I kept thinking to myself, this was supposed to be kind of their Beauty and the Beast moment, like, you know, how Bolt was the Oliver and Company of their third Renaissance, if you want to call it that. Princess and the Frog, kind of the Little Mermaid. Winnie the Pooh would probably be their Rescuers Down Under, and I thought this was going to be kind of their Beauty and the Beast, but I mean, it's not that the movie is bad or anything. It's just that I kind of expected a lot more from it after what I saw with Bolt and the Princess and the Frog. But that doesn't mean it's a bad movie by any means necessary. I mean, the voice casting overall is great. Zachary Levi and Mandy Moore have a lot of good chemistry together. You know, this is back when Zachary Levi was actually still sane and not working for the Trump administration, pretty much. And Mandy Moore fits that role of Rapunzel very well here. And Donna Murphy's pretty fun as the villain. You get Ron Perlman also in here as well, Brad Garrett. There's a couple of other notable roles in here, but the voice casting overall is great. The visuals are really impressive, too. And that's actually kind of interesting about this movie, is that this is a movie that has a high budget of $260 million, which you really would look at this and go like, nothing about this movie really seems like it should be that. But then you realize this uses kind of a unique artistic style, which blends together features of CGI and also traditional animation while using non-photorealistic rendering to create the impression of a painting. And they would kind of elevate this to the next level with a couple of other their movies going forward, like Wreck-It Ralph, and especially with Frozen, which ended up being much bigger successes. Not to say that this one wasn't a big success overall, but when your film costs $260 million to make, and you're Disney, you expect to make a lot more than less than $600 million. But hey, the film did eventually find its following overall, so I guess there is that in general. The comic relief in here is very good. You know, they have, I kind of like Pascal over Maximus the Horse. Even though Maximus the Horse does have some really good moments in here. The songs are very well done. I mean, it's Alan Menken songs. How can you go wrong with that? I mean, if there's anything I could say I didn't like about the film, it's nothing we haven't seen before in a Disney film. It's kind of a routine story. It's been done to death before many times, but at the same time, nothing about it really hurts the movie in general. But you know, in a year we have had so many good animated movies. Toy Story 3, How to Train Your Dragon, Legend of the Guardians. Those are the ones that I think of when I think of the highlights of the year in terms of animated movies. But this one definitely feels like the lesser of those movies. But like I said, it's not a bad movie by any means necessary. It's a movie where it works because the acting is so good, the voice actors are top-notch, the characters are likable, the elements and the visuals are really cool, and it has gone on to have a nice little legacy following this. They had a great short that appeared in front of the re-release of Beauty and the Beast in 2012, Tangled Ever After, and then they had a really good TV series that aired on Disney Channel, Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure, which was surprisingly really good. Like, the animation on that show, for as small as the budget they had, they made it work overall. But then again, when you have somebody like James Baxter as one of the animators on that, of course it's going to be great. This movie, I like it a lot, but it's definitely lesser than stuff like Bolt or The Princess and the Frog, or even their next movie, which came out in the summer, which one of the things I will never understand is why the hell would you release your next movie on the same day as Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2? That's a decision that still baffles me to this day, and it will still baffle me once we get to that movie in July of 2011, but Tango's a good movie, not a great movie overall. I think there are much better Disney movies than this, but it's a nice predecessor to what Disney would eventually do in the decade to come, so take that for what you will. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the next big new release of the weekend, which is Cher and Christina Aguilera in Burlesque.
Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go!
Check it out, girls.
I finished a song.
Can I hear it?
You can sing it. Beautiful.
You never told me you could sing like that.
Alley Cat, you're up next.
My nana used to call me Alley Cat.
Did you really? That's so fascinating. Rated PG-13.
And that right there is probably why this movie didn't do very well. PG-13 burlesque movie is not something I don't think anybody would expect to see in a movie like this. I mean, granted, yeah, Moulin Rouge was PG-13, so was 9, so was Chicago, but yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why this film wasn't the big hit that Sony was hoping for. But does it make it a bad movie? No, but it's definitely lesser than what it could have been. But the story of Burlesque revolves around Allie, played by Christina Aguilera, an Iowa-born girl who leaves her job as a waitress to hit Los Angeles to make it on her own, eventually ending up in a burlesque lounge where she gets a job as a cocktail waitress from Cher, who plays the character of Tess, the club's proprietor. The burlesque's outrageous costumes and bold cinematography enraptures the young ingenuine who vows to perform there one day. Soon enough, Allie builds a friendship with the featured dancer played by Julianne Hough from Dancing with the Stars, finds an enemy in a troubled, jealous performer named Nikki, played by Kristen Bell, and garners the attractions of a bartender and fellow musician played by Cam Giganant. With the help of a sharp-witted stage manager played by Stanley Tucci and genre-bending host Alexis played by Alan Cumming, Allie makes her way from the bar to the stage. Her spectacular voice restores the burlesque lounge to its former glory, though not before a charismatic entrepreneur played by Eric Dane from Grey's Anatomy and The Last Ship arrives with an enticing proposal. And I think the big thing with this movie in particular was, could Christina Aguilera act? Like I said, this is her first leading feature film debut, the first time she's ever acted in anything, surprisingly, and I mean, she is one of the best vocalists you have out there. In the 10 years that people have known her as a recording artist, she's never done an acting role, with the exception of SNL. But other than that, it's SNL. But so the question is, how's her acting in this? It's fine. It's solid overall. I think she does a pretty good job as an actress. Plus, I mean, the singing, you can't go wrong with that. But that's not the only good thing about the movie. The dance sequences are nicely choreographed. The actors do a good job with the performances they're given. The sets are visually great. There are a lot of flaws with the movie in general. There are some things I don't like. There's a lot of songs in here, as beautifully choreographed as the dance sequences are, they're pretty forgettable in general. Even the lyrics of most of these songs are nothing special, but I guess when you have a voice like Aguilera coming in here, it probably works in its favor overall. I mean, another thing I didn't like about the movie was that there are a lot of subplots in here that have no purpose in the story and never get resolved in any way, shape, or form. You can easily get rid of these and just have a simple story about this woman who wants to go ahead and become a superstar, a music star, but I don't know. That's just my thinking. Plus, there's a little bit to... It's a movie that is clearly made specifically for Aguilera's fan base and also a female audience, because there are definitely moments in this movie where there's a lot of stuff where if you're a guy sitting in this movie, I was there, I went to this by myself, you'd be just like, yeah, I think I'm in the wrong building here. I mean, it's not like Magic Mike, it's not like Magic Mike, but Magic Mike was a much better movie in terms of a story and characters. This is a film that's clearly made for the ladies out there and to titillate the young boys who love Christina Aguilera, and it's also a gay movie too, pretty much. I mean, gay people would love the hell out of this movie. I would think they would, but overall, Burlesque at least is not another Glitter. It's not a movie where it's a movie that feels like there's just way too much going on there, and it doesn't help. Behind the scenes stuff was ruining that film. This doesn't happen in this movie. For Christina Aguilera, she's fine, and then it doesn't hold up as strong as a lot of the good musicals we had up to that point. Chicago, Moulin Rouge, 9. And I think that PG-13 rating does hurt it a little bit. The cast is good. The dance sequences are nicely done. Most of the songs are pretty forgettable. But other than that, though, it's a decent film. For a one-time watch, I would say it's worth it. But other than that, though, there's no other reason why you should be watching this more than once. I mean, honestly, if I'm being honest with you, I haven't seen this movie in 15 years, so I really don't know if it has held up well at all. But I just remember I bought it on Blu-ray thinking one day I'm going to watch it again, and I've never really had the urge to watch it again, per se. But I don't know. I mean, I probably need to rewatch it again, but that's just my memories from the first time I saw it, so... With that said, let's go ahead and move on to our next movie, and that is Jake Gyllenhaal and Anne Hathaway in Love and Other Drugs.
Hey, Lisa.
Her name's not Lisa.
I know, but if every time I say, hey, Lisa, she'll think that I dated a girl who looked just like her. She'll develop this unconscious need to win my approval, and from then on, it's cake.
Damn. Why would you want to be a pharmaceutical rep?
That pays over $100,000 a year, that's why.
Hello, lady. Hello, gorgeous. Oh, wait. Yep, there's another one.
If the patient asks, you're an intern. Hi, I'm Dr. Knight.
And who are you?
Jamie Randall,
Intern. Well, let's have a look.
Oh, crap! You let me take my shirt off!
wait. Okay, I apologize. Let me take you out for a cup of coffee.
Strong eye contact, implied intimacy. You're good.
So what does this mean?
Actually, this is me being nice.
You have beautiful eyes.
That's it? That's the best you got? This isn't about connection for you. This isn't even about sex for you. This is about finding an hour or two of relief from the pain of being you. And that's fine with me because all I want's the exact same thing.
And that's the point where you say less, and then you go and get to bang Anne Hathaway. I mean, that's the American dream for any guy out there. But Love and Other Drugs. This is Edward Zwick's latest film, and it follows the story of a medicine peddler played by Jake Gyllenhaal in 1990s Pittsburgh, who starts a relationship with a young woman suffering from Parkinson's disease, played by Anne Hathaway. As you see in the trailer, you also see Oliver Platt, Hank Azaria, Josh Gad, and Gabriel Mott from The Spirit in the cast in this. And this is a movie that kind of came and went when it did, but it was a movie where I remember really liking it a lot, and I watched it again recently. I watched this one again not too long ago, and I think it's gotten better over time. It didn't get the best reviews when it came out per se, but it was a film that had a lot of ambition to it when it came out, and I didn't really see it the first time around. I thought it was just okay. The second time around I watched it, I really enjoyed the hell out of this movie. It's not just an adult dramedy that adds the sexual aspects to it. I mean, you see Jake Gyllenhaal getting in bed with a lot of women in this movie, and Hathaway's got some nice nude scenes as well, but that's fine and all. But there is an engaging storyline here going on about this guy trying to make this relationship work when he knows that he's dealing with this woman who's got this serious disease. And the film does a very good job of handling it. And again, you have the great direction of Edward Zwick and the writing of him and Marshall Herskovitz, and also Charles Randolph, who would later write The Big Short. And you have a lot of good people all across the board in this movie, making for an engaging film that has gotten better as time has gone on. It's a very interesting film, a very intriguing film. It's a film that isn't just a typical, watch this womanizer have a lot of sex with women. It's a movie where it actually does play out and work to its advantages on a number of different ways. It's a good film, really good film overall. Definitely has gotten better over time. Can't recommend enough. Definitely check it out. Maybe it might honestly be Edward Zwick's most underrated movie as a director. Love and Other Drugs. Can't recommend this one enough. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our next movie, which is Dwayne Johnson in the action thriller Faster. Once again, why the hell are you releasing a movie like this on Thanksgiving weekend, honestly? But stop me if you've heard this plot before, because this is a bold plot here. Dwayne Johnson plays a lone man recently released from prison, seeking out the people from his past who he believes betrayed him. While he forces each to atone for their sins, he must also face what meting out vengeance will do to his immortal soul. It's Death Wish again. It's another Death Wish knockoff. It's another ripoff of Walking Tall. This is the literal definition of half-assing it all across the board. This is directed by George Tillman, who at this point had been pretty solid. He made Soul Food. He made Men of Honor. He made Notorious. But then after this point, he went from being a hit maker to more of a mismaker, with one good movie in the 15 years since this movie came out, which was The Hate U Give, which is a terrific, terrific movie that felt like he was coming back to his past. But this movie, oh my god, this movie is such a mess of a film. Like, look, Dwayne Johnson can make this work. I mean, he's perfectly serviceable as the action hero in this, but it's literally the same movie we've seen before so many times before. I think Roger Ebert kind of said it. I think Roger Ebert said it best. Rotate the plot, change the period, spruce up the dialogue, and this could have been a hard-boiled 1940s noir. But it doesn't pause for fine touches and efficiently delivers action for the audience that likes one-course meals. This is the type of movie that you watch late at night on TBS or TNT when you can't get any sleep and it's after midnight. The NBA has just finished up, All Elite Wrestling is finished, and then you see, oh, Faster's on. There ain't nothing else on, so I'll put this on while I go off to sleep. That's the type of movie this is. This is the type of movie that you would see on TBS or TNT or even USA late at night when you have nothing else to do, you can't get any sleep. You see Dwayne Johnson and it's just like, I'll give it a shot. And you come across it as, wow, that was completely boring. And hey, at least I got to sleep after that. I could not understand what the hell was going on with this movie in general. The plot is way too complex for something that should be so simple to understand, and they do literally nothing different with this than any other movie that has the similar setup to it. I guess there's one thing to say about it is that, hey, Carla Gugino teams up with Dwayne Johnson again for what, like the third or fourth time? I think she was in Escape to Witch Mountain, and then they did San Andreas, and there was one other one I can't remember what they did, but it was either 3 or 4 of them. But yeah, this is the second time they've teamed up together. But with the cast that includes them, Billy Bob Thornton, Maggie Grace, Moon Bloodgood, Adwale Akanino Agbahi, Mike Epps, Tom Berenger, Xander Berkeley, Jennifer Carpenter. You expect so much more, and this is the typical definition. This is another one of the CBS Films movies, and you just can tell when CBS Films makes a movie, it's either a lackluster script that the studios knew was bad from the get-go, or a script for a failed television pilot. And I get the feeling this was a script for a failed TV pilot, but they figured, hey, we can get Dwayne Johnson in here, and we can save the film easily. And no. No, you could not. That's pretty much what we can say. Faster. There ain't nothing fast about this movie. It's neither good, it's neither fast, neither slow. It's just bad. It's just bad all the way through. So now we've come to the review you've been waiting for. Yes, I know this one won Best Picture. I know it was the Best Picture winner at the Oscars. It swept the Oscars, but I'm sorry. I really do not like The King's Speech at all.
Faced with war,
We need a leader we can all stand behind.
a man challenged by fear.
The nation believes that when I speak for them. But I can't speak. I can kill you.
A king who will find his voice.
It's time.
Colin Firth, Jeffrey Rush, Helena Bonham Carter.
Why should I waste my time listening? Because I have a voice!
Yes, you do. The King's Speech in cinemas January 7th.
So, we need to start off with a little bit of context here. Back in 2019, when Green Book won the Oscar for Best Picture, I saw the movie for the first time afterwards, and it's not even that it's a bad movie. It's just a boring, bland, Oscar bait movie. And, it could have been, this is definitely one of those movies that could have been the worst Best Picture winner of all time, but this is definitely up there with one of the films that definitely did not deserve it. I bring this up because 2010, when this won the Oscar for Best Picture, I just want to give you an idea of why this movie should not have won Best Picture. Here were the other nominees for Best Picture that year. Black Swan, The Fighter, Inception, The Kids Are Alright, 127 Hours, The Social Network, Toy Story 3, True Grit, Winter's Bone. That's 9 movies that could have easily won Best Picture, and I would have been happy with that. But no. The worst one of that group, the laziest movie of that group, won Best Picture. A year where you had Black Swan, The Fighter, Inception, The Kids Are Alright, 127 Hours, The Social Network, Toy Story 3, True Grit, and Winter's Bone. All way better movies. All movies that actually try to do something unique and different. And yet it's this movie, this fucking film, that won it. The laziest, most blandest, most predictable, most forced film of the nominees to win. Yeah, we're going to get into this here, so hold on. Let's take a drink and prepare myself. Okay, let's dive in. So in the movie, Colin Firth plays the future King George VI, who to cope with a stammer sees Lionel Lodge, played by Jeffrey Rush, an Australian speech and language therapist, who become friends as they work together, and after his brother abdicates the throne, the new king relies on Logue to help him make the first wartime radio broadcast of Britain's declaration of war on Germany in 1939. And I'm sorry, the biggest problem with this movie right away is what I said before. In a year when you had The Social Network, Toy Story 3, Black Swan, The Kids Are Alright, True Grit, 127 Hours, The Fighter, Inception, and Winter's Bone, they all lost to this movie. The problem with The King's Speech is that it does every single cliche Oscar bait thing that you do in a movie to try to win an Oscar. And this is the one that won it. it doesn't do anything new or creative with it at all. And the fact that it not only swept the Best Picture award, but it got Best Director, Best Actor, Best Original Screenplay, when there were so many better movies in that category, in those categories, just proves that the Oscars don't even bother to try sometimes. They would do this more granted, they have gotten better in the last couple of years, actually not giving good movies the big awards like Anora, Oppenheimer, Everything Everywhere All at Once. But they still gave the Best Picture to stuff like Coda, which isn't even a bad movie, but there were so many better movies released that year. West Side Story should have won Best Picture that year. The year Nomadland won. I like Nomadland. But, The Trial of Chicago 7 was also nominated. Judas and the Black Messiah was nominated. Much better movies that should have been nominated in that category. In Green Book this year, Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody. I would have rather seen Bohemian Rhapsody win Best Picture. That's how much I didn't want to see Green Book win Best Picture, because it felt like it was one of those years where nobody tried and they just gave it to the biggest crowd pleaser out there instead of actually giving it to the Best Picture. When you have a category called the Best Picture, it should define the year of the movies. It should define that it should be a great movie that doesn't do the same tropes we've seen done before. But no, not this year. Not in a year where we have so many inventive movies in there. We got to give it to this pile of garbage here. And look, I don't mind Colin Firth in this movie or anyone involved in the film, but I'm sorry, you should have won for much better movies than The King's Speech. It's like there's so many other better films that you could have done here. I mean, it's a cliche movie with. Sorry about that. It's a cliche movie with no creative elements in it at all, and it follows every single Oscar bait cliche rule that it has to do to get Oscars. Like, let me just go ahead and give you the 10 biggest ways you could tell this was a cliche-riddled Oscar film. Number 1, it's set in a specific time period, the late 1800s to the mid-1950s. Number 2, someone's playing a mentally challenged character. Number 3, the actors are acting their ass off, and not in a good way. They're just overacting their asses off, like Angelina Jolie and Changing, being like, "I want my son back," like that type of thing. 4, dramatic movie cliches like dying or injured pets or children. 5, an actor is either playing a gay character or a historical figure, which, granted, it didn't help but Brokeback Mountain 5 years prior to this. 6, style over substance. It's a movie that looks great, but the substance? No, not worth it. 7, way too much sappiness. 8, an actor playing an inspirational figure. 9, trying to be way too topical. And 10, a convoluted script. I mean, The King's Speech has a lot of those cliches, and let's just be perfectly honest. We all know why this movie won the Oscar. Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, this was back when he had all the power in the world, and his company was in desperate need of a legacy, like something that actually warrants his company as worthwhile. And there's clear evidence that's true. You do the research, people. Just look back at how many movies Weinstein has had a hand in winning the top prizes. Most of them for movies that are not great to begin with. Shakespeare in Love, The English Patient. I mean, we've seen that done before. But let's be honest, he's got much bigger problems nowadays. But look, and I know I'm in the major minority of movies like this, but I'm sorry. The people that try to defend this movie are unbelievable. I've had people tell me, "Oh, well, you just don't understand the royal family, because if you did, then you need to know what the royal family is about to understand this movie." Fuck the royal family. Do you see what they do to people that aren't in their common ground? Look at what they've done to Meghan Markle whenever she got married to Prince Harry. Yeah, that's the people that I have to know about to really understand the true beauty of this movie. Fuck them. I'm sorry, just fuck them. And I know I'm in the major minority when it comes to this movie, and most people would probably say that I shouldn't feel the same way about The Hurt Locker or Crash. They don't deserve to win Best Picture either. And you might be right on that, but you know what? They were good movies. They were films that I actually did like. And yeah, so already that puts me in a deeper in the hole, but I'm sorry. I can't help it. The King's Speech is not a good movie, no matter what people say. It's a bland, boring, and just uninspiring film. It's pretentious, it's got a bad script, the story is not engaging in any way, shape, or form. The acting's fine, I guess, and I was just bored watching this movie. This is a lazy film that just does not work at all. In a year where you had so many better movies that should have won this Oscar for Best Picture, and this is the one that wins it, this just continues to prove that the Oscars will never change their ways, no matter how hard you try. I mean, granted, yes, like I said, they have gotten better in the years past, and, they have, but I'm sorry, In a year where you had a number of movies that experimented with new things that we hadn't seen before, done things that were much better, winning this for Best Picture means that you are supposed to be the movie that defines the year. This is you winning Best Picture with this little thing right here means that you're defining what the year was all about. And instead of a year where we should be celebrating films like Toy Story 3 and Inception, no, the best one went to a film that was clearly bought and paid for by a guy that had all the power at the time. And yeah, this is just, it's just inexcusable. It's inexcusable that this piece of garbage has so many of these. Just, I hate it. I hate that movie so much. I hate this film so much. I've tried going back and giving it another chance, but I'm sorry. The movie still fucking sucks. It's a terrible movie. It's a lazy film. I just wish I want that award to go to movies that actually try to do something unique and different. Do something that hasn't been done before. When you are the Best Picture winner of the year, the Best Picture should not be a movie we've seen done to death before so many times. It should be a movie that takes chances. It should be a movie that tries. It should be a movie that says, fuck the way that Hollywood plays. We're going to do what we want to do, and we're going to go ahead and do whatever the hell we want to, and we don't care what anybody says. That's what the Best Picture should be. And I'm sorry, The King's Speech does not deserve this beauty right here, nor does it deserve any other awards. Colin Firth should win an Oscar for a movie where he's actually trying. Yeah, that's my rant on The King's Speech. I hate this movie so much, and I know I'm going to be the one person out there that does not like this movie. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I hate that this movie has several of these, including the top prize, when there were so many better movies released that year. I'm done. I'm moving on here. So let's go ahead and get back on a much more positive note, because we've got a new Nutcracker movie. Surely there isn't going to be anything too severe or nightmarishly evil about anything that we see in this trailer here, and you know exactly what's about to come if you already know what I'm talking about.
See that city? It's my city. Before the Rat King took it from me.
His kingdom was overthrown. A curse was cast upon him, and he was banished from his world forever.
Merry Christmas, you two. Meet MC.
Until one magical night, he discovered someone who could change everything.
Hello, Mary. You can talk. I've been waiting for someone like you.
I mean, good fucking lord. This is, consider that the beginning of the nightmare fuel that's in this movie, because holy mother of God, this was bad. Now, as we've seen on this show, it is apparently very, very hard to make a Nutcracker movie that actually isn't a terrible piece of shit. I mean, if Disney can't even make a good Nutcracker movie with Nutcracker in the Four Realms, then you have no reason to make a Nutcracker movie ever again. That's how bad it is. If Disney can't save it, then there's no saving it whatsoever. Like, every studio has tried so hard to try to make a Nutcracker movie work. And it says a lot when the best versions are ones that feature either the Care Bears, Tom and Jerry, or the Macaulay Culkin one where he's not even saying anything, and it's just a Broadway stage production of it, the '93 movie. But this right here, this has to be the absolute worst version you could ever see in your entire life. The story doesn't seem like it's anything that different. It's set in 1920s Vienna and follows a young girl played by Ellie Fanning who receives a magical doll that is revealed to be the prince and embarks on an adventure to save his kingdom from the Rat King. So okay, it sounds like the story of the Nutcracker, but no, this movie can't do that. We have to be different with this, because not only do we have this in 3D, which means that nightmare fuel is going to be literally coming right at you while you're sitting in this, but they decided to this movie decides to go in the direction of adapting the Tchaikovsky score into lyrical musical numbers. and I kid you not, the artistic direction to allude to World War II and the freaking Holocaust and make the rats reminiscent of Nazis, with John Turturro with this abysmal rat makeup, that literally there are times in the movie when he turns into a rat, and that is even more nightmare fueled. Like, what the hell were they thinking when they made this movie? And not only that, this has a $90 million budget on this. They spent $90 million on this. What? Who made this movie? Well, it's Andrei Konchalovsky, who, hey, he had a promising start to his career when he made Runaway Train back in the 1980s, and then he followed it up with stuff like Shy People, and then Homer and Eddie, and then Tango and Cash, which that movie was met with its own production problems. But, hey, this has also got songs written by Tim Rice? That Tim Rice? The Tim Rice that wrote songs for Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin and the Lion King? What is happening with this movie? Like, this is a disaster. This is one of the worst things you could possibly imagine. This is, you know, I know, like, I don't like going back to the King's Speech and all that, but the King's Speech, I at least get why people will find that movie appealing. I don't know who the fuck they were thinking that this movie was going to appeal to. And the fact that you spent nearly $100 million on this and thinking that you were going to make this back, I hope they killed everybody who made this, who financed this movie. Like, I hope they literally burned them at the stake like the Salem witch trials. It's just like, no, because you deserve to never, ever say any ideas ever again. Like, this is an abysmal disaster of a film that wastes too many good talents in here. Ellie Fanning, you see Nathan Lane in the trailer, John Turturro, Richard E. Grant. Just, oh my god, this... I'm baffled. I'm absolutely 100% baffled on how this thing became a reality, and how somebody at Freestyle thought, this is a great idea, let's make it, why not? And yeah, then they realized after they saw the movie, oh, now I see why we shouldn't have made this movie. I got nothing else for you. This is bad. This is really, really bad. Avoid this one like the plague. If you even see this in front of you and somebody says, hey, want to watch this movie? Punch that dude in the face and then grab a flamethrower and burn that disc, because nobody should have to be forced to watch this pile of garbage. This is a bad, bad movie. So, what an eventful week this was. I can tell you that much. Need a drink after that one. Oh, what a week that was. What a way to finish. But, with that said, that's going to wrap this episode of Time About the Movies up. But next time around, we come to the beginning of the last month of 2010, December 3rd. And of course, it's post-Thanksgiving weekend, which basically means no big new wide releases are coming out to really stand out against some of the holiday leftovers. The biggest new release is The Warrior's Way, which, once you see it, you realize, yeah, there's a reason why this movie got put out after this weekend, because it's that bad. But we do have awards contenders. I mentioned this one earlier, and yeah, this is definitely one of those much better movies than The King's Speech. Darren Aronofsky's Black Swan, featuring an Oscar-winning performance by Natalie Portman, as well as Mila Kunis. We also have Jim Carrey in a radically different role, starring alongside Ewan McGregor in the romantic comedy I Love You, Philip Morris. And it literally is a romantic comedy, but we also have Ryan Gosling and Kirsten Dunst in All Good Things, which is very topical, especially what happened with Robert Durst. But we'll talk about those 4 movies coming up on the next episode. That'll be tomorrow. But what an episode this was. I really hope you enjoyed this one, or you really hate me because I disliked your precious King's Speech. But if you somehow find some enjoyment out of this, can I ask you to do at least one thing? Go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification button. And also don't forget to hit the playlist, as well as check out the last episode we did. So, with all that said, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care.